Hi everybody, I'm Jack the Rambling Raconteur. This is the Cull Ya Books Tag. I was tagged by Sean D. Standfast, who has an outstanding book collection and film collection, and books on film collection. This is the original tag was from PD Books. I believe it's like back in May. I was only tagged recently. You know, a guy goes to Utah to hike for 3 days, and everybody tags him. So, not quite in Brian at Bookish territory where I'm going to do 3 at once. I don't know if I could handle that or if anybody would desire me to. So here we go. Prompt 1, what is the most recent book you've added to your shelves and why did you purchase it? That's pretty easy. I managed to sort of do a curbside pickup and get Count Magnus and Other Ghost Stories by M.R. James. I believe the M stands for Montague, which is just amazing. And this is a Penguin Classics, edited by the same editor who did the Lovecraft and Algernon Blackwood, Lord Dunsany stories. And honestly, it was because I'd heard about M.R. James, but it was recommended to me by one of you, Lillian, and I apologize in advance, Niesvender, I'm not sure. Anyways, she always gives great comments, very insightful comments, really thoughtful comments. She's very well read, recommended this, and found there was a copy at a very appropriate price and said, I'm interested. Prompt 2, what book did you buy with absolutely no desire to read it? I can't think of one. I generally won't spend money on something that I'm not going to read. So I really thought up that one. I couldn't find one. Prompt 3, what is the most awkward size or shape of book you own? I've got a couple. This is The Real Mother Goose. And I don't even particularly like these poems, particularly Peter Pumpkin Eater just sucks. I feel terrible for his wife. And, you know, there's Jacks are always getting in trouble in these books. They're jumping over candlesticks, they're eating Christmas pie. I mean, and it's a strange little shape. Another one, this is just a monster. This is one of the oldest books I've had for years. D'Alier's Norse Gods and Giants. Again, just very large, oblong. And then the last one I'll show is the ESPN World Cup Companion, which is a really fun book. It has like these different athletes who never made it to the World Cup, teams that didn't win, or teams that did. Some like greatest teams, greatest players. And a feature on haircuts, feature on certain like games or plays that were really famous. So it's an awkward size, but I keep both of those up on the very top of the bookshelves. So, which kind of leads into prompt 4, show and tell, how do you arrange your shelves? Is there a method to the madness? So I arrange them by publisher in part because it makes it easiest to double stack like here and then stack books horizontally across those. And so I have, and then sort of they're within genre. So I have like ghost stories and crime novels and more crime novels. And then you can see like by publisher along here. Over here it's by publisher. So it's generally so I can get like 2 even rows that I can then lay books across. It's not chronological or alphabetical, and so it drives my wife crazy. Prompt 5, how often do you have a book cull? Usually when we moved 3 times in the first like 3 years we were married. We stayed at each place like 15 months before moving, as just we got jobs at different hospitals and schools, and so we were moving around in the Phoenix metropolitan area, and I say that truly area. Thankfully we're downtown. And so we culled books then, and then now it's sort of just when I feel like it. I don't have a plan on that. Prompt 6, how do you decide if you're going to keep a book or give it away? If I ever plan to reread it or return to it, like if I really like it, or if I'm going to reread it because I didn't quite get a firm grasp on it, or if I know it's going to be something I'm going to reference. So even if it's a volume that I maybe don't super enjoy and I'm not going to reread the entire thing, I'm going to reference parts of it. So. Prompt 7, what is a contender for the oldest unread book on your shelves? This is a safe space to, you know, be honest with what we read. I've never finished St. Augustine's City of God. I've made it deep into this book, like easily 400 pages into the book. But I've never actually finished it and read the entire thing cover to cover. That might change one day. I mean, I'm sure it will change one day. I just don't know when that day will be. I doubt it will be 2020. I've read a number of Augustine's other works, on the Trinity, on Christian teaching, the Confessions, but I've never finished City of God. And I don't think that's a black mark against my name. Here we go. Prompt A, what book that you have read and is currently on your shelves would you struggle to give a summary on? Go! I like to think I have a good memory, but then I take books like this, Go Dog Go by PD Eastman. And, from the title I can remember there's dogs and they go places. There are lots of different colors of dogs, even some that I've never seen in real life, so we start with black and white dogs, which seems, normal. But then we end up with like red and blue dogs. So I'm just concerned about the owners. The dogs have a tendency to walk on only their hind legs, which it doesn't feel like that's how they're supposed to be proportioned. So I'm just confused by that. There's dogs down in the water. I hope this is a lifeguard dog. I'm not sure. We've got like a dog operating the Ferris wheel at the amusement park, and wearing hats and yo-yos. It's fascinating. They drive. They know how to play checkers and stop. But the one that really confuses me is this dog who, I'm not sure what the deal is with him. This guy, this yellow dog, who is just always telling people that he doesn't like their hats until the very end. And he says it repeatedly to the same dog. And he just seems like not the kind of guy you would ever want to spend much time with. He eventually does like this party hat. And the dogs go to a really cool party with a cannon on a tree. Napoleon's jealous. So anyways, this is a tough book to summarize. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot more to it perhaps than I thought on a first read. So there we go. Prompt 9. Some books are to be cherished. What book would you never throw or give away? I've got a few. I love my poetry anthologies. This is Proensa, which is Troubadour poetry. I really like my anthology, but my poetry anthologies especially. This is a science fiction anthology. This is ironic because I've actually given away 2 copies of this. I've lent 2 copies of this book that were never returned. So this is my 3rd copy of Science Fiction Hall of Fame Volume 2A. So I might just hold on to this one and just buy a spare to give, because I end up having these 2-year periods where I don't have a copy. And then our David C. Driskell series of African American art. This is the Hughie Lee Smith volume. These are fantastic. I showed one of these earlier. They just have incredible paintings and like biography about the artists and like some cultural context. So this series they're hard to find. And when I look at the price of some of them, I go, wow, we could finance a vacation if we sold that. Just ones we've stumbled on in used bookstores and things. But these are important, so I won't give that one away ever. So here we go. Out of the ones you discussed, choose one to actually send to a friend. So a book, what I do, I lend books to friends a number of times, or my siblings. But one thing I do is whenever we have double copies of books, if it's a book that I think is useful, I will put it in my classroom library at school. So this is Romance of Marseille by Claude McKay. My wife and I are finishing it up this week. And so when I go back in the fall, I'm going to keep one copy here at the house, but the other copy I will put in the classroom library. We've done that with a number of the books that we think, would be useful for a high school student to read, or that a high school student would be capable of reading. So that'll be the one I put in my classroom library, the next edition. And then prompt 11, you can cull books, but you can't cull friends. Tag some people. Again, this tag is like 3 weeks old. So if you're seeing this here for the first time, great. Check out Katie Books. Check out Sean's. There are plenty of these. if you're interested, if you think this is an interesting way to think about books with weird sizes, or books that you would never give away what those are, I think that'd be interesting to hear. So I'll leave it kind of as an open-ended one. But again, thank you everyone. Stay safe. I'll be back soon, hopefully with Romance in Marseille. Bye.